Hi, this is Mark, and this is Criminally Insane, Chapter 2. Our wedding was the most beautiful event I had ever seen, and I barely looked anywhere but at Natalie. It had taken over 2 months for us to bring our case to a conclusion, and we had to dig deep into our basket of life skills to realize our dream of becoming husband and wife. We experienced extreme joy, but the relief that we felt from making it to the altar alive was nearly as great. We had spoken of a memorable place to honeymoon, but before we even left our hotel, we knew we wanted to go home to Harbor City more than anywhere. Our last case had kept us on the road for so long, we both felt the draw of familiar territory. Since we became engaged so early in our relationship, we had made very few plans for our everyday futures. We each owned houses, but negative memories still haunted those places, and we both wanted a change. Now, we had the means to move to any one of several places in Florida, but our roots were in Harbor City, and after self-examination and reflection, we decided that our hearts were there as well. Though my license was still current, I was reasonably sure that my days working as a nurse were over. Natalie and I had solved 2 very big cases in our short time together, and the pointer was aimed at the detective route. Natalie applied for her private investigator's license the day after we hit town, and while the process matured, we worked at a thoughtful pace to find the house in which we could be comfortable, but still close enough to the city proper for an easy commute. We also wanted to be much closer to the beach than we were in our other houses, as we now found walking there together relaxing and enjoyable. Curiously, neither of us were big beachgoers before we met, but now it had become our default destination when we had a limited time. A small community with homes twice as expensive as either of ours in a beachside suburb of Harbor City evolved into our mutual desire. We looked at many homes there, and when we found one particular place, we applied our now practiced trick of agreeing without verbal acknowledgement. The lady who showed us the house was surprised that we liked it at all, based on our lack of conversation as we toured. By the time of closing, Natalie's house was sold and mine was listed. We kept none of our furniture except for a large wooden office desk, which we put into one of the 4 bedrooms designated as the office. For a couple of weeks, we traveled to all the towns on the east coast of Florida big enough to have a furniture store, and hardly a day passed that we didn't find something to buy for our home. We spent a beautiful 2 months nest building and planning our PI business, but then we both got restless and needed some action to keep our passions stoked. "I feel like I'm getting sick," I said as we entered the house. "Why don't you lie down? I'll come and check on you in a little while." Natalie leaned over to kiss me, but I pulled away because I felt like I was getting the stomach flu. After a quick shower, I was asleep. For 5 hours, I was dead with no dreams and no consciousness at any level. My flu had passed, and except for feeling spacey and a little tenderness in the thumb that bled on the beach, I was satisfied with my recovery. "Well, look who's alive," Natalie remarked. I was really out. We ate the same thing, so it couldn't have been food poisoning, I said, trying to put a label on the illness. "I know this sounds weird, but I can't help thinking that it has something to do with that little piece of plastic. This morning I might have thought it was weird too, but a few hours ago I cut open that bird and found all of these inside." Natalie held up a sandwich bag with 30 or so plastic bugs, like the one we had found in the beak. "That's impressive. I didn't know you had that much farm girl in you." "I wasn't going to do it, but you did once cut open a gator for me, and I used that as my motivation. I buried the bird in the garden by the back fence. You owe me a new beach bag."